Hey everyone, so today we're gonna solve this major musical mystery. It's all about a composer who completely, and I mean completely, changed the game.
Yeah, let's just dive right in, because I promise you, the answer is way more interesting than you'd think. It's really all about one ultimate level up. Okay, so picture this. On one side, you've got this beautiful, super emotional music. The kind of stuff that tells a story, something you'd hear in an epic movie soundtrack. And then on the other side, you've got this sound that's just, well, chaotic, totally unpredictable. So get this. What if I told you that the exact same person, this guy, Arnold Schoenberg, wrote both?
All right, so to figure this mystery out, we've gotta go back, way back, to the beginning, to his origin story. So, Schoenberg didn't go to some fancy music school at first. Nope, he was self-taught. He learned everything by studying the absolute greats. Think about it like a gamer watching pro streamers for hours, right? Learning all the best moves, all the top strategies. That's what he was doing. Basically, reverse engineering the music he loved to figure out how it worked. So, who were these pro streamers he was watching? Well, he basically downloaded the playbooks from two of the biggest names in the game at the time. First up, you had Johannes Brahms. Now from Brahms, Schoenberg learned all about structure. And this is super important. It's like learning the blueprint for a building, you know? Brahms taught him how to build a piece of music with this really solid, logical foundation that just wouldn't fall apart.
And then you had Richard Wagner. Wagner's music? It was all about huge emotions, pure drama. Schoenberg just soaked it all up. He studied how Wagner used these long, flowing melodies and these special notes called chromatic notes. All that really means is they're the notes in between the main notes of a scale, and he used them to create that epic, heart-pounding feel.
Okay, so he learned from the masters, check. But what did his own early music actually sound like? Well, for a while, he was following a very, very specific recipe. See, back then, music had a really clear set of rules. It was almost like a video game with a set objective, right? You had to start at your home base, which is the key, then you build up all this tension, and then you always had to return home at the end. And Schoenberg's early stuff, his songs, his piano pieces, they all followed this recipe. And that's what gave them that lush, emotional sound we heard right at the beginning. But here's where it gets interesting. Even while he was following the recipe, he was secretly starting to add his own weird ingredients. Yeah, the clues to the rebel he would become were kind of hidden in his code. So you're probably wondering, how exactly was he bending these roles? Well, for one, he'd throw in a surprise chord that felt just like a plot twist in a movie. Or he'd make it really, really hard for you to tell where that home base even was. And he started using these clashing notes, we call that dissonance, to make you feel some real tension and suspense. I love this analogy. It's like adding a ghost pepper to a pizza. It's still pizza, right? But man, it has a serious kick. People who heard his music, they knew he was talented. They knew he was skilled. But they could definitely tell he was up to something different. You could almost say he was testing the community guidelines of music. Okay, so all this rule bending, it was leading somewhere big. So what's the ultimate takeaway from this whole story? What's the point? Okay, here it is. This is the crucial point. He didn't just wake up one day and randomly start making chaotic sounding music. No way. He spent years mastering the old style. He understood every single rule, inside and out. And he did that so he would know exactly how and where to break them, to create something totally, completely new. And that really is the most important message here. His wild, atonal music, which is just music with no home bass key at all, it was only possible because he had such a deep foundation in all those traditions he learned at the very beginning. You could say he leveled up by beating the game on the hardest difficulty before he started writing his own code. So that kind of makes you think, right? What's one rule out there in your world, I don't know, in gaming, in art, even at school, that you would want to master, just so you could be the one to change it? Think about it. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I'll see you in the next one.